ain't no stopping us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Shooting stars. Didn't even get to bronze. I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon. Rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shoot, yeah, shoot, yeah, shooting, yeah, shooting, shot. Shooting stars. Didn't even get to bronze.
Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Tottenham Away, our late night post-match show. Spurs 3, Brentford 1, a deserved win, fully deserved. No arguments about it, I think, from anyone. A good performance from Tottenham Hotspur. 3 points, 3 goals. Can't complain. Good day out for Spurs against a team that has been troubling a few sides this year. Brentford had a few injuries, but overall, got to say, good win for the Spurs. Please like, subscribe, follow the channel, hit the notification bell. Make sure you follow the Hotspur Hood as well. Big up to every single person in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Very quickly, just want to say happy birthday to this man here, William Leone. It's his 21st birthday. He was at the game. Had Spurs lost, he would have run onto the pitch and thrown punches like Anthony Joshua. There is a boxing fight on tonight at Wembley Stadium, in case you didn't know. If this is the William that I think it is, the one that got the train down from Hertfordshire to protest with us, William, big up to you, brother. If you're the William I think you are, big up. If not, big up anyway. Happy birthday, man. Have a great 21st birthday weekend. Glad Spurs didn't ruin it for you. Mari, how you doing, bro? You good? Busting the Boca Juniors top?
Doing good. We won, and now I want to see my other team win the Super Classico Right now we're losing the river, and so I'm a little nervous because we're trying to equalize right now. I will take a draw because we've been crap in the first half. Almost remind me of Spurs the last couple games, but right now I'm hoping for an equalizer. You'll see my reaction if we tie. Come on, bro. Come on. But I'm doing okay. Yeah, I'm doing okay. We won. Let's see what comes out of it. You know. Oh, people in the chat. Please don't say, "Come on, River." No, Cavani.
All right, Mari can commentate about that game. I'm going to go to Dan. Dan, how you doing? Good win for Spurs today.
Yeah, I mean, happy with the result. Thought the first half, so we should have been up 3-0 maybe in the first half. Could have killed it off earlier, but thought we had a very good first half, most of us. It's good to see Johnson actually put his finger out for the first half, score a good goal, but second half went missing. I think second half in that was where I got a bit... It could have gone very Spursy, it looked like at one point, and Vicario is starting to scare me. But overall, can't complain. 3-1.
3-1, Spurs win. Big up to everyone in the chat. I'm just trying to quickly go through all your shout outs and everything and hellos and big ups and whatnot. I do want to say a big thank you to a number of people actually, because today so many people. Normally you get one, but today so many people came up to myself to say, "Oh, Tottenham away, man, love you guys, keep doing what you're doing, keep it real." And it's just nice to hear that sometimes, because we do get the hate because we say it as it is. But it's good to see there's a good support out there. I just want to pick up a few people. This man here, Matty, who's in the chat often. Well, he came up to me today. There he is. Big up to Matty, my boy. 15 years old. He got a Mikey Moore signature as well on the kit. We did a video as well after the game. You can go check out that video. Big up to JP as well, one of our own, who met Gary Mabbott today. Yeah, that's right. JP in the corporate. Doing a Daniel Levy. Now he got free tickets through work. So big up to Lily White Lane as well. He was at the game today. Shout out to you. If you don't know this guy, you've got to follow this guy, Mr. Alex THFC on Twitter. He's a character, man. He's the one that takes the Cyprus flag into the stadium for the Cyprus Supporters Club. Big up to Alex and these two guys in the pub as well, who this man here with a big smile, Stephen, turned around to me and said, "Hey, Tottenham way, how you doing?" And there's his mate Dan. Big up to these two. Had a good chat with him in the pub afterwards. And there's another guy in a white shirt, a Spurs shirt. As I was going down the stairs, exiting the stadium, he said hello to myself and Graham. I forgot your name, but if you are watching, I think it was Andy or Andrew. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Big up to you as well. But look, just want to say big up to all of you guys. Just nice to meet you guys in the flesh and have a chat about Spurs and whatnot. So hope you have a good weekend. Right, boys, let's get into the game. So, starting 11, Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie. That just seems to be the standard five every game that's Premier League now. So, no changes there. Midfield was Bentancur in the 6, Maddison and Kulu in the 8 and 10. Basuma was fit, but he was on the bench. Bergvall on the bench as well. In terms of defenders, we had Spence, Dragusin, and Gray on the bench. And then the front three were Johnson, Solanke, and Son. Son being the left side, Solanke middle, Johnson right. Werner was fit. He was on the bench. The only kind of wide forward or forward that we've got fit at the moment, because Odegaard's out and Richarlison's out. But starting lineup pretty much. You're thinking, yeah, that's probably as good as we've got right now fit. And within 58 seconds or whatever it was, 1-0. And Buemo with an absolute bullet, top bins. One attack, they cut us open. Defenders leaving players again. Like after 1 minute, what were you guys thinking? Were you fearing the worst? Were you thinking, here we go? And
yeah, here I was thinking, here we go again. I was like, that was just too easy. And I put in the chat, I was like, oh, that's on BDV. Because like I said, if it was Romero, he's getting the heat on that play there. I'm like, Van der Ven, what are you doing, bro? You gotta defend. on Remo. He's like the most dangerous guy right now for Brentford. And so, but then we quickly equalized. So it negated that. But to be honest, I was like, it may get toxic in the stadium. But yeah, good that we quickly equalized. But yeah, was it good?
Yeah, you know what was worrying about that goal? It was the fact that they had one attack, and again, it's a ball that comes into the box is what causes us problems. It's either a cross or a set piece, any kind of delivery into the box, and it looks problematic. And look, I have to say, guys, I got to watch Mbeumo live on a pitch. He's a really good player. Like his hold up play, his strength, his finishing. Just the leadership. He kept calling players in and telling them to up their game, and he's a real presence on the pitch, an absolute menace. Our defenders really had their work cut out for them. Do you know? I'd love to see him at Spurs. I think he's a really good player. Did he look good on TV today when you're watching the game? Did the commentators kind of?
Him? Oh no, he was by far. They said Remo is a problem. He terrorized us. He almost scored again, but that's credit to Vicario, which is I'm going to talk about it. Like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Like it's I know we're going to get to that, but Mbeumo really like impressed me. I always thought he was solid, but today he was a problem. I just held our own, but yeah, from watching the game, oh yeah, he was getting rave reviews.
Yeah, he looked like really the only danger player they had, if I'm honest with you. And the wide player, that is wide player. He looked quite young. He was causing us a few problems, but Mbeumo, hands down, was the best player that Brentford had.
He's the second fastest behind BDB, the winger for Brentford. They were saying he's the second quickest.
Yeah, he looked like he could cause problems. I saw him cause a few problems, but Dan, 1-0, 1 minute. It was Ange's job. Is the P45 was being written? What happened? What happened? You know, Mari's right. Okay, this was Romero. Everyone would be piling in, but because it's not, we just pretend it's okay. What happened? It's not okay. Because if this was a better team we're playing against, maybe we don't come back straight away 1-1. What did you make of that goal that Brentford scored? And like, where would you put the blame if there is any? From
what I saw, I think there was mainly two people to blame for the goal, and I think that was Porro and mainly VDV, because it was Porro that got cut inside, if I remember right. And yeah, VDV gave the player way too much space, and he had the shot and finished it. I mean, I barely had time to sit down with a beer and start watching it. I look up, see what's happened quickly, and bang, straight in the back of the net. And then straight away you think, here we go again. But where it was in the first minute, you know you can come back from the first minute a goal like that. It's if they score again in the next 10 minutes, then you know you're up shit street. But then, yeah, after that goal, I'd say that was definitely mainly down to Van der Ven. I think we pretty much took control of the first half after that.
Yeah, I forgot to say, by the way, big up to Graham. I spent pretty much most of the day with him. And Stixie, Dean, big up to these two guys. I just don't have photos with you, so I didn't think to mention it. Yeah. Do you know what was interesting, Dan, right? So as soon as they scored, I'm now thinking, right, the best time to go 1-0 down is in the first minute, because now we've got 89 minutes to do something. You don't want to go 1-0 down in the 88th minute or the 79th, because the other team can just camp in their half and we're in trouble. And what I saw for the next 20, 30 minutes was we pinned them in, similar to Leicester City, Newcastle, pinned them in, but their defence looked really, really average. I could tell this wasn't Arsenal. I could tell this wasn't a physical Newcastle. I could tell this was more of an Everton defence, but not as bad as Everton. And even when we went 1-0 down after 5-10 minutes, everyone in the stand was saying, we can get this lot. Come on, we can beat them. Because you could see the amount of space Johnson was finding, Son was finding. Maddison had a lot more time on the ball. We'll discuss that because some people say it's because both fullbacks weren't inverted. It was slightly different. We'll talk about it. But I just felt that Brentford were disorganised. And when I spoke to a Brentford fan in the pub afterwards, he was saying to me that they had a lot of injuries and they had a really young guy in the middle who's not ready. They've got a Wissa and some other forward they signed who's out. And they just didn't have the team that they would need to come to a place like Tottenham. And I think it showed. I know Brentford are better than what I saw today. Partly, look, we're good in possession. So we're going to make teams look, they're going to have to work for it. But I just never felt Brentford looked like they were going to beat us. I felt we were going to get into the game and win it as long as we took chances, which we did. And then the pressure paid off. The goalie parried a shot and it fell to Solanke and basically had a tap in and he smashed it in and Solanke got off the mark. 1-1. Did you guys see the goal coming as well? Or were you thinking, nah, same old, same old? Lots of possession, lots of pressure.
It looked like we was definitely going to put it in the back of the net. But I think going back to the game itself quickly with what you said, I think one thing I definitely noticed today is we had a team pushed in there basically that didn't want to be. They wanted to come out of themselves. They wanted to try and attack us. Whereas other teams we've done that to, they've sat back quite happily because it's what they planned to do. It's what they wanted. I don't think that was Brentford's actual plan to sit back, take what we've got and then catch us on a counter. It really didn't look like it. It looked like they really wanted out of that defence and to get forward. Whereas a lot of other teams, we struggle to break down when they actually want to sit back. It don't look like it was their game plan, basically. But it definitely looked like we was going to score. I'm glad Solanke scored. It takes a lot of pressure off his back. And then hopefully you can just get on with it now.
Yeah. What did you make of Solanke, Dan, overall today? Because, okay, he got that goal. You'd expect a striker to put that one away. But overall, he didn't get another assist. He didn't get another goal. His hold-up play was, I thought, quite good. But were you guys impressed by him today? You know, are we getting a little bit too carried away just because he scored one goal? What's your take on Solanke?
I think he was a solid 6-7 like today because the whole play was good and I mean he scored the goal but it wasn't bad, you know, it wasn't spectacular or great. It was okay. It was good, you know. Second game off, you know, his injury and stuff. So I mean, can only hope that you know he gets better. But I'll be fair. It was okay, you know.
Dan, what's your thinking on Solanke today?
I thought he had an all right game. Nothing in particular special. I thought he'd done better at holding the ball up and getting into space. Again, I feel for the fella because I still, even though we won 3-1, I still don't actually think he got much service. He was having to come out wide on himself, come back on himself a bit. He was having to get all over the place because he weren't getting no service through the middle again. And I think that's definitely going to be a big problem in the long run. But overall, I don't think he had a special game. He scored a goal. Well done. That's your job. And yeah, 6.5, 7 sort of thing. He had an all right game. But no man of the match game sort of thing. But he done his job and that's what we want. I just feel he definitely gets, you can definitely see he's going to get a lack of service, basically.
Well, we pushed on after that and we found a lot more space. As I said, Johnson and some were finding a lot more space. And then Brennan Johnson, the moment that has turned him into the best player in the Premier League. I thought he'd done really well to change pace, to skip past the man. And then the finish was excellent, right? It was an excellent finish. If that was Son, Kane, Maddison, we'd be saying, what a finish, you know, did everything right. Across the goalie, low, bottom corner, whipped it with pace and accuracy. And it was a really good strike from him. And he went over to the fans and gave it the old shh. Now, I don't know if that's to the Brentford fans or to the Spurs fans, but he went and did that.
That was blatantly to the Spurs fans.
That was for Stell.
That was for me. That was for me. But look, I'm going to let you guys speak, and then I want to go last on this.
I will say
What's your take on the Brennan Johnson thing? Because on Twitter, people have atted me. People in the comments tonight have also mentioned a few things, and I've had a few WhatsApps, and the hysteria on Twitter is real. It's real. But what do you make of it? And then I'll tell you what I think of it.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Our fan base is the only fan base in sports, let alone in life in general, right? People have the ability to be critical, to critique. Now, I get it, right? If you're calling someone, and it was a joke, but people, you can't joke around anymore because everything is hateful. Okay, I get it. But for the most part, people have been criticizing his game because we don't see consistency from Johnson, right? We don't see him, especially against big teams, right? Big games, right? He misses. And even today, he missed about 3 chances. And I agree with Jordan. We are the most sensitive fan base in sports. I'm not even talking about football. So there's an inconsistency with Johnson. And all we ask is to see consistency from him because he's not 19 or 20. He's older. He is older. And yes, we paid 40 million. No, we paid 40 million for him. We paid 50. So we paid that amount to see more of him, especially in big games, right? Like I said, you are in supposedly big club. If he's at Real Madrid, take this as an example. Vinicius, who is maybe about to win the Ballon d'Or, is getting crucified by Brazilians because he has failed. He's had a horrible year, and the Brazil team. So if he can be criticized, right, and he's going to win the Ballon d'Or, so of course Johnson can be criticized. Now, kudos, right? He's taken that criticism, right, and the last 2 games has gone like this, right? He scored a game winner, against Coventry. He scored a game winner. Now, all we want to see is consistency. I said the beginning of the season, over under. If the guy could give us, out of all the games, 15 goals as a winger, kudos to him. Kudos to him. We want to see our players do well. But also, we can see from our eyes, we can see from the stats that he's not there yet. He's very inconsistent. And even today's game, beautiful strike, I'm thinking, okay, he's going to get a brace. Not once, not twice, in the second half. He misses those 3 kisses, especially that one was almost like one-on-one for a brace. So I want to see consistency. So to leave it all off, I've seen the light, X. He's there with the Sakas and the Cole Palmers. He's up there, according to Twitter. That's what people want us to say. But we're going to be honest. Yes, neutrals, right? They don't like us whatsoever. But they can be honest, right? This is not only our fan base that was criticizing Johnson. You ask any neutral, they're like, we don't rate Johnson. We don't rate Johnson. They're being very, very honest. So all I want to see is consistency from Brennan Johnson. This is great. He scored a goal today. Awesome. Now continue to improve your game and continue to show some consistency.
Dan, do you agree with that? I think that's pretty much sums it up.
Basically the same thing. I think he had a very good first half. I think that's the most we've seen of him in a long time. Still don't rate the player. Just because he had a banging moment and scored a good goal, he's going to have to do a hell of a lot more than that before he wins me over. But what he did, credit where credit is due, he did it very well. The problem I have with him is He done that a couple of times last year. But he only turns up for 5 or 10 minutes, does one thing, and then goes missing for the rest of the game. And this time he actually had a good 45 minutes, but then second half, he just disappeared again and had a couple of chances and got it totally wrong. Credit where credit's due, he done very well. And like I say, first half, I thought he was good, but he's going to have to do a lot better than that consistently before he wins me over as a 50 million player that I think is half decent. Because I'm not going to change my opinion on him just after one game and one goal. But again, you've got to give credit where it's due. He done it well, he finished it well, and he had a good 45 minutes. Let's see if he can start doing that against teams like Man U. Let's see if he can start doing that against teams like Chelsea. Let's see if he can start doing that against teams like Newcastle, like a 50 million player should. Only time will tell on that one. But he's going to have to do a fair bit more in consistency to win me over.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to win me over. If I'm honest with you guys, this is what I put on Twitter. I'm not falling for the popular knee-jerk reaction fan base that suddenly thinks Brennan Johnson's good. He usually does well against the weaker sides. Arsenal, Newcastle, where was he? We've got United and Brighton next. And at some point, we've got Liverpool, Chelsea and Villa. That's the test. I think his goal was excellent. I thought the fact he could change direction and skip past a man with that turn of pace shows that he can beat a man. And his finish was on point, man. You can't knock it. It was a quality finish. However, let me remind everyone, last season, these are the games against the top 10 teams, right? These are the top 10 sides in the Premier League. Brennan Johnson, goals. 1, 2. 19 games against opposition of a top 10 level, 2 goals. Assists, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 plus 2 is 6. That's 6 goal contributions out of 19 games. That's a 33% rate. 30% actually. Now, when you go to the bottom team, guys, 1, 2, 3 goals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 assists. Slightly better, right? He's slightly better.
Yes, 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 yes. Sorry. We equalize at the death. We equalize at the death. Yes. Yes. Yes.
For anyone tuning in, Boca Juniors have equalised against River Plate. Murray's happy. But my point is, Brennan Johnson needs to do it here against these top teams, right? Brentford are a bottom 10 team. They're currently 12th in the league. And guess what? Brennan Johnson, right here, right? I'll highlight right here. He scored against them last year as well, guys. So for me, nothing's changed. Like I want Spurs to win the league. I want Spurs to win the Europa. I want Spurs to win the FA Cup, which means you got to beat those top 10 teams. What it means is when you get to semi-finals and finals, you're going to play against the best teams, not the bottom 10. And he doesn't show up in those games. So, okay, last year was last year. But so far this year, nothing against Newcastle, nothing against Arsenal. He needs to show up against Man United, Brighton, Villa, Chelsea, Liverpool, before any fan jumps on any bandwagon and decides to at me. That means I haven't listened to what I've said about him. And by the way, it's not just him. Kulu's the same. Richarlison's the same. Solanke was similar, slightly better last season at Bournemouth. Werner's the same. I need to see it in those games. Otherwise, what's the point? So, look, well done for your goal today. It was effectively the winning goal because it made us go 2-1 up. But then I also watched you miss 2 other chances that you've just drilled wide. And I'm like, come on, man. You got that 1 goal and now you're missing all the others. So I don't get the hype. Do I think he should be abused and people should go into his DMs and Instagram and say all sorts? No. Do I think we should criticize him and question him? Yeah, absolutely, man. 100% we should, as we should with any player. And by the way, I probably slam Werner more than anyone else before anyone gets on my back. But that's what I think of Johnson. The stats prove me right. The eye test proves me right. Man United away next, Brighton away next. If he scores the winners or helps us with assists in those games, maybe I've got to start eating a bit of humble pie. But until that happens, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon. Everyone just wants to jump on something just for the sake of, yay, we're all together. No. You got to do it when it matters. Otherwise, come end of May, we're winning nothing, people. And that's my take on it. Do you guys think that's a fair assessment, or do you think I'm being a bit harsh, guys?
No, I agree. Like I said, he's going to have to do a lot more than that to win me over. I mean, like I said, credit where credit is due. Same as you give him, same as Murray give him. I bet a lot of other people have. But one, he scored a goal against Coventry. That's all I have to say with that one. And yeah, today was a good goal, but he needs to do this with consistency. This needs to become a regular thing, not just that he shows up for 5 minutes, does something, and then goes missing for 85 minutes, like he did for a majority of last season, and then started turning up for 10 minutes and going missing again. That was about the best thing he did last season. And then he needs to start doing it against the bigger clubs, because if we want to do something, just beating these little teams, or smaller teams, should I say, that's still not going to get us. We'll be lucky if that gets us top half of the table. So we've got to start performing against the bigger clubs to get the points.
100%. And, you know, Michael Klein, thanks for being on the show in the comments, but you're not listening to what I'm saying, are you? Brennan Johnson goes missing in almost 80% of games against the top 10, which means in 20%, he does something. So when you say, didn't Johnson score the winner against Brighton? That's part of the 20% he actually turns up in. And then you put the laughing emojis as if you've caught me out. No, you're not listening. So go back and hear what I said. He needs to turn up in, at least for me, 50% of those games. He's got to, because you know who does? Heung-min's son and Pedro Porro. We went in the break 2-1 up. There were some really good stats, actually. Our possession was higher. Our expected goals. Now, the XG was good. This has been a problem all season. The number of shots and big chances were all up. So finally, the things we've been criticising getting to shift up. And then the second half began. And I felt we started off well second half. But then I felt Brentford got into the game a bit more and they began to suss us out. And they caused us a few issues. And I want to talk about this guy because he really looks suspect today. He made a couple of really good saves. Look, we know Vicario makes really good shot-stopping saves. We know he's got that in his locker. And he saved us once or twice today. But, my God, man, playing out from the back and coming off his line, he really is looking dodgy. And I'm not going to lie, I feel like we've got another Hugo Lloris, a brilliant shot stopper. But someone whose distribution in the first half, the ball came to him and you're thinking, right, play it. And then the striker's shutting down. You're like, okay, just whack it now. And Mbeumo caught him and they nearly scored. And I think Van der Ven or someone put in a really good block to save us. That could have easier been 2-2. And second half, he was flapping. He was dropping balls. It just felt like the guy he's gone from having a really good start at Spurs to now looking like Hugo Lloris 2.0. And that for me, and I said to the guy next to me, Dan, I said to him, do you know what? If Brentford equalise, it's going to be Vicario that assists. I've got this, it's looking that way. They huffed, they puffed. Okay, they didn't get the equaliser, but I thought Brentford turned up the heat a bit in the second half, and this guy really didn't like the pressure. I mean, what we're thinking about Vicario, because last season we were waxing lyrical about him. We were saying he's better than Rea. Now you're looking at Rea, who's just looking like an immense goalkeeper of the highest level. And I'm seeing Richard Vicario thinking, this guy could cost us a game now. I'm genuinely worried he could cost us a game.
Yeah. Watching NBC coverage, also, they recalled the goal handball. So one of those sad. I'm not so sad. I'm upset.
Murray's talking. I asked Murray a question. He's talking about 2 games. He's in Boca mode.
Fuck. The Peacock coverage was saying they were talking about him regressing, starting from last season, and that people were criticizing him for not coming out. Well, he came out, and you saw what happened today. In the first half, me and Dan were talking about there was one sequence he should just damn ball away, and then the whole controversy was it deliberate handball, yellow, red. It was almost like, you know what, Vicario, stay on the line, stay on the line. Nah, he's regressed. It's like that tackle of Mr. Hyde, where what a tremendous save, and then the next minute it's Vicario. Whoa, it's just like he's starting to become an enigma, and this is what we complain about Lloris, right? Because Lloris, great shot stopper, especially at penalties, and then there were some mistakes from Lloris. Like, Lloris, what are you doing? Especially at the ball at his feet, and with Vicario, man, we're seeing it. We're seeing it. So that is a concern. But here's the thing: what I don't understand about our club, right? I said this for the conference game. Our backup is Forster. So after a performance like today, we have no one behind him to challenge him in the sense of, if you're going to play like that.
Well, Maury, we've got three young goalkeepers. We've got Brandon Austin, we've got Gunter, and we've got Alfie Whiteman, and they all, I thought, impressed in pre-season. We do have an option there that is okay. They might not have the experience of Forster, but they're more agile, they're quicker, they're sharper, they're more likely to be able to play out of the back better.
But the question is, do you think Ange has balls to say, hey, you know what, we might just start this keeper, because he's still playing Forster, and Forster is like he's like what, 37, 38, like he's stiff, like so. Yeah, so it's like we don't have anybody. I think Arsenal picked up a really good backup. Even when they got rid of Ramsdale, they were able to pick up somebody, just in case something happens to Rhea. And for us, we don't have that. And right now, Vicario is starting to be a liability. We blame the defense for not having some of these clean sheets, but those blames goes to Vicario too. Former Everton keeper Tim Howard was in, along with Lee Dixon, was criticizing Vicario for not coming out at least to help defend that Arsenal goal the other day. So it's with Vicario, he is worrying. He's starting to worry me. He's starting to become a bit of a liability.
Yeah, for sure. I just need to address this quickly. Sorry, Michael, you're not listening again. I said the top 10 teams, they're the teams we're going to play in cup finals and semi-finals. We're not playing Fulham, Crystal Palace, Everton, Brentford in semi-finals and finals. We're playing the best teams in Europe, and we're playing the Arsenals, Chelseas, Man United, Cities. Please listen to what I'm saying. I feel like it's just gone over your head and you're just looking for any reason to try and dig out a flaw in what I've said. And Ange, pocket tennis, you're not going to tear me a new one. What you are going to do is come on Wednesday's show, which is set up for fans just like yourself to come and debate and discuss, and you can pick the topic. So please show your face on Wednesday, have your camera on, and give it a go, right? But if you don't turn up on Wednesday, I've screenshotted what your comment you just posted, and I'll remind you of what you said when you don't turn up on Wednesday. Please come on Wednesday, all right? That show's set up exactly for fans like yourself. But Vicario, back to him, sorry to digress. Do you feel, because when I did the interview with Matt, the young fan with the Mikey Moore signature, I asked him the question, do you think that Vicario is being forced under all circumstances? You must play it out from the back, and he's not able as often to smash it long and wide during normal play.
I think that again, it's. I don't think the tactics suit him. You could see that last season. When it comes to shot stopping, he's one of the best around. Catching the ball, so. But when it comes to actual shot stopping, knee-jerk reaction, whatever you want to call it, he's a very good goalkeeper. He's just, you can see he's not comfortable on his feet. And you can see he needs to get backed up in the box. He needs a bit of muscle around him. And he don't get that support off his defenders. And the way Ange wants us to play from the goalkeeper, literally tap it out and take more chance in front of our own goal than we do the other team's goal, like I've been saying for ages, does us absolutely no favours. Him playing it out today, trying to take it round the player, he's only doing what his manager's been telling him. I mean, that was the excuse that everyone gave Brennan Johnson, wasn't it? Yeah, it's not his fault. He's only doing what the manager tells him. But then I'm going to say the same thing with Vicario that I did about Johnson. Then he should have the common sense when to do it his way, basically. When to say bollocks to what the manager said and do it his way. He's got to get his act together because he is looking like a bit of a liability at the moment. He's looking nervous. He's starting to look like a proper flappy hand ski. He's not comfortable with the way it's working. And I just don't think this system sort of like of the keeper dribbling it out and that works with him. He's got no problem coming off his line, like to come into the actual field as such. But I just don't feel he's confident enough or got the quality enough on his feet to actually play it out as such. And his distribution isn't great either. He is starting to come across like another Lloris.
Big up to Mr. Box Office who's joined the show. Yeah, Danny, he's becoming another Lloris. Michael, this is the last time I'm going to address you because you're just embarrassing yourself now. You're telling me that Fulham got to the semi-final last season. Michael, who knocked us out of that cup competition? Fulham. Yeah, Fulham. Okay. I don't know what more I can say. Alex, how you doing, bro? We were at the game together. First time I sat next to Alex in a stadium. I'll tell you what, it's an experience because when Alex has an opinion, everyone in the stand has to know it. He was telling the guy in front, the guy behind. Yeah, what do you think of Vicario, Alex? Is he Lloris 2.0 or are we just being a little bit harsh on him? Give it time because he did look a little bit dodged today, didn't he?
I think he's going through his second season, like most of the players at the moment. To be honest with you, I don't think it's. I think he's a good short stopper. Maybe he's a bit shaky on his feet, but I don't think really the way that we play and at the back really help him. I don't think our players, our midfielders, help him either. To be honest with you, so yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a bit shaky at the moment. Yeah, I would say maybe from crosses and stuff and on his feet. But who's pressuring him? Have we got a goalkeeper that's actually pressuring him for his place? No, nobody. So for me at the moment, because Forrester's definitely not that goalkeeper, isn't he? So for me at the moment, we're going to have to keep with him, aren't we? Because we've got nobody else to replace him at the moment. Well, no one to compete with him. So, but I mean, to be fair to him, he has saved us a couple of times. I will give him that because he made some good saves today. He did make a mistake, and Mbeumo should have scored. So yeah, and yeah, I know he's. I think he does look a little bit shaky, but we have to see what he does next rest of the season. But there's no one to compete with him.
Would you guys drop Vicario, or is that too extreme? What's your thinking?
We've got no one to replace him. We've got no one to take his place.
Yeah, we can't. I know you mentioned Austin and stuff like that, but in all honesty, we can't. We can't drop Vicario. I mean, we'll have to take those gaffes. We'll have to take those gaffes that he
And
has.
how old is Austin? What, 24?
Yeah, and he's a good shot stopper. I mean, he made.
There's a reason he's 24 and he hasn't gone nowhere and hasn't hardly ever played for us. A keeper does not get to 24 and not see for the first team football.
There's absolutely no way Vicario is going to drop because, like I said, we don't have a quality backup to compete with them. I mean, the kids. I mean, first of all, we don't even barely play the kids. The kids played today because we're up 3-1. If the score was still 2-1, would those kids would have been able to play today? I don't think so. We're just like Lloris. We're just gonna have to accept that he is good for maybe a good gap or two in a game. We're gonna have to just accept that, you know. But like I said, it's like he's an enigma. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde because he made some tremendous saves. I mean, he's a good shot stopper, but there's just sometimes the ball is at his feet. You know, he doesn't sometimes have the command of the box. You know, so we have to kind of take it for what it is. But yeah, I mean, we would be crazy to drop him. There's no way he has to start.
One thing you can say with him is he nearly cost us the game, but he definitely saved us the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But that's what I mean by him. That's what Hugo Lloris used to do. He used to make wonderful shot-stopping saves, worldy saves. But in his distribution and commanding the box, he was just a liability as the years went on. And I'm just asking, is Vicario the same? Because it's beginning to look that way.
I just don't think he likes this idea of having to dribble it out and just tap it to the defender in front of him. To me, he comes across as more the one who'd rather just get the ball and get rid of it quickly instead of hang about with it and wait for the defenders to spread out, or instead of having three bloody strikers or wingers coming at him at the same time. And I just don't think he's into all this tic-tac business. He'd rather just get it and get rid of it as such. It's definitely not his strong point.
Well, the game opened up. Spurs had a number of counter-attacking chances, and look, we've got to talk about him, right? I've always been kind about him. I'm going to be kind again, but not for the reasons I normally do. But Heung-min Son, he missed chances. There was moments where he could have passed to create assists, and he didn't. But he came out of the game with 2 assists. So, yeah, stats-wise, right, we can't knock him when he created 2 of the goals. You can't knock him. This is what I mean about Son. At the end of the season, when we look at his goal contributions, goals scored and assists, you know Son's going to be top or second. But the amount he fluffed today was really significant, where a lot of people were talking about it more than normal. Is it a case he's just aging and we need to focus on a replacement? Or is it a case we're just expecting too much from him and we're overcritical with Son? Because I'm
not overcritical.
It could be both. It could be both in that sense because we know we're desperate for goals, despite Johnson, scoring the last 2 games. Let's see if he does this consistently. But it could be both in the sense of he's getting older. The younger son would have quickly. It almost seems like he takes a second or two longer. Because there was one shot that I thought he was going to take, and he took an extra second or 2 long, and the defense were able to catch up, and he turned around, and so it can be both. And like I said, with Vicario being an enigma, being Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, it's almost that way with Sonny because I posted on the chat the 2 assists, 7 chances created, 2 big chances created, 86% passing, box to the box, 7 touches to the box. You normally say, man, that's a great game. But then you look at the match, it's like what I just said. He could have had some shots that he didn't take. It almost felt like he was slower in slow motion. So it's, and even Silva scores kind of shows it like, wow, he had a good game. So it is weird. It's frustrating because we do need more, especially against the big teams. We're going to need more from Sonny. But like you said, like if you look at it, you have 2 assists. You can't say the person had a bad game, but then he should have maybe could have got a goal or 2, which would have been a great game. So it's kind of like Vicario. It's just like he had. I mean, that's the type of.
I'm straight up right now. He's not the same, and we're not playing to his strengths at the end of the day. And I blame the club for it because they ain't got someone to compete with him or work with him. Since Kane's left, he's not the same. He can't work with Johnson. The only player that I think he could work with is maybe Solanke and Maddison. What I would do, I play 2 up front. I'm sorry. The stats. I don't do stats. I don't play FIFA. I'm sorry. I only work on stats on when we win, lose, or win trophies. We don't do win trophies. Look how many years since 2008. You know what I mean? That's the stat that really makes a difference, and that's it for me. Son should have left this club a long time ago to improve himself. When I look at Jamie Vardy, like he's effective. Yeah. You can have all those stats all day long. Yeah, he's had great stats all day long, Son. What has he won? Nada. Nothing at Tottenham. I'm sorry. This is where I get this nonsense. Yeah, right. And he should have looked at it and said, "I need to go and win something." Yeah. The reason why now he's struggling at the moment because the club has ruined him. Absolutely ruined him. Yeah. He's absolutely ruined him. He needs to adapt his game now, adapt to the way that he is at the moment. Top players do that. Yeah, Abramovich do it. You know, the Shearer done it. You know what I mean? Kane did it. Top players do it every single time. And I'm sorry, it's just not happening for me. I'm sorry. Yes, he's our best striker right now. Yes, he scores goals. Yeah, the main event's still speaking, Mari. The point is, yeah, right? It still scores goals, yes, but I'm sorry, I'm fed up with this. This is why we're not going to win nothing.
Alex, no,
this is why we're not going to win nothing. I'm sorry, I'm done with this crap.
Alex, I get what you're saying. But I'm saying for today, like today's game, he led 2 assists, 1 for.
Yeah, 2 assists because it was lucky, bro. It was lucky, bro. The fact is, yeah, there was one chance you just explained. I said on Mr. Box Office TV from my last video, by the way. Watch it and subscribe and like. The point is, yeah, right. Son of old would have just gone outside the box and shoot and score. He didn't lose his arrogance, his swag.
Those 2 assists away, especially the last one was beautiful.
Bro, it doesn't matter whether he's got those assists, though, bruv. As far as I'm concerned, yeah, we should have had 5 or 6 goals. We should have 5 or 6 goals. We should have.
Alex, they led to the results. That's what I'm saying. We should have scored a goal too today, but those 2 assists led to.
But the point I'm making is, Amari, though, what if those sort of assists, right? What if those moments that he's missed, right, in a cup final? What's going to happen? Yeah, is he going to do the same thing?
I agree with you.
Yeah. What's it if we play the top team? Yeah, like Man United, Man City, Arsenal. Yeah.
I agree.
You see what I'm saying?
Alex,
I'm looking at the manager. I am looking at the manager. Yeah?
I said the same thing about Kane. I agree with you, but like I said, he contributed today to the victory. That's all I'm
Alex,
saying.
you know, you said against the top teams, Son is our best performing.
Yeah, I know. I get it. Yeah, I'm not complaining about it, but the fact is, yeah,
you mentioned it.
He needs to adapt his game to a different way now, and I blame the manager for it. I blame the manager for it because he's playing this system, which, you know, yeah, we do dominate the ball, but it doesn't suit him. Yeah, he ain't got no top players to compete with him. We ain't got no top players to work with him.
Look,
and it just doesn't work for me. I'm sorry, I'm done with this rubbish.
The thing is with Son is he's aging, yeah? And this is why, for me, he's never been a world-class player. He never has been. The only thing he's ever been world-class at is finishing, and still is. But the thing is, with a player like Son, Is he particularly good at dribbling? He's okay. Is he good at passing? Meh. Can he cross the ball? Not very well. Can he actually really do much except run and score? He really can't. And it's also starting to show how reliant he was on Harry Kane to look good. And plus his age is starting to come into it as well, where he's lost a yard of pace. Still bloody quick, but he's lost a yard of pace. And it's starting to show. And the other thing on him that he's really starting to show is he's losing stamina. And he never was a world-class player. He never was. He was just very good and world-class at finishing. A world-class player can, like you said, Alex, adapt. Son is one of those players that relies on his pace so much in a game that as soon as he loses the pace, you'll start seeing it in his game. Like I've always said, like a Michael Owen. Michael Owen was brilliant at finishing and brilliant at running. Did he have skill? No. Could he pass? No. Could he cross? No. But he had the pace and he had the ability to score. But as soon as he lost his legs, his game went to shit. That's why you usually see the slower players last longer. The slower strikers last longer because it's not all about pace and being able to score as such. But they are the main two things Son always had. I mean, tell me anything else he's actually world class at or quality at. Whereas Harry Kane, we can sit here and name quite a few things. Harry Kane made Son look as good as he was. Gave Son all the service he needed and everything. Them two worked brilliant together.
They're telepathic. They didn't need to talk to each other. They're telepathic.
But like I said, him and Michael Owen, same sort of player. Both rely on pace. Both relied on their finishing. And as soon as Owen lost his pace, he went to shit. And Son now starting to lose his pace. You're going to see him degenerate slowly.
He just needs someone to work off because the thing is, though, Solanke's better with him up front. Yeah, I'll even put Johnson up front. I'd rather put Johnson up front than playing on the wing. Because, like today, he scored a good goal, very good goal. I'll give him credit for it. I was surprised when he scored that goal. But then he had another chance and he fluffed that. And then everybody's like clapping him, saying, shouting for Johnson, saying, "Oh yeah, Johnson."
Go back to that one a sec, Phil. Can you go back to that one a sec, Phil?
And I'm sitting there thinking, well,
Alex, hang on a second. I just want to answer this. People, sorry, wrong one. What Adam Crew said, injuries killed Owen, not loss of pace. Well, mate, how do you think he lost his pace? He lost his pace through injuries. So he lost his pace. When he lost his pace, it destroyed his game. So whether he lost his pace through injuries or whether he lost his pace through getting old or whatever is irrelevant. He lost his pace. His game went to pieces.
Oh, I'm about to bury this guy. Sahil. First of all, I think my assessment of him is fair. If you got 2 assists that helped us score 3 goals, 3-1 to get a result, right? You have to give credit. I said he did not score his goals. He did not finish his dinner. Just like Edison, Romero was going to get 2 assists, right? Didn't finish his dinner. I said that. So I was being fair. Now, you use the word woeful. That sounds, I'm sorry, like an idiotic comment. Woeful is playing like trash, like no assists, no GA. You did nothing to contribute in the game. How can you have 2 assists, 2-point assists to lead to a goal? How do you call that woeful? Make that make sense. How's that woeful? Now,
okay, Murray, if Johnson can have a poor game, even though he scored a goal and then goes missing for 45 minutes, 90 minutes, so can Son. And Son really went missing for a lot of that game, apart from 2 things he did.
No, but
Son was worse than Johnson.
But you cannot call that woeful. You can say, if you said, all right, he was woeful with his chances by scoring, okay. But for the whole game, you got 2 assists, you created 7 chances, you saw that. You can't call that woeful. Maybe it's the same thing when people say good class. Maybe it's a different definition in the UK or whatsoever. Woeful is you're trash. You were terrible. To have 2 assists, one of them was a beautiful pass to Madison score. That's woeful? Man, I must be okay. I guess I don't know what woeful or terrible is. I'm not saying he had a spectacular game. I'm not saying that. But woeful? Come on now. That's idiotic. I'm sorry. That's idiotic. You're being stupid. I'm saying it. You're being stupid.
Also, this person here is saying I'm a troll, blah, 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 blah. Look, just come on the show on Wednesday. I've told you. You sound like you're chickening out already. You're calling me a troll before I've even answered your question, which decides whether I'm a troll or not. It's illogical. It's lacking intelligence. Just, guys, anyone that's got an issue, come on Wednesday. Put your face on the camera. Tell me. Debate it. But you won't. This is how I know you're just like kids in some random village somewhere on your parents' keyboard. Come on the show on Wednesday and let's debate it. We actually had a really good guy that came on the last show who debated me about, he was leaving in. We had actually a good chat. Come on, let's hear it. That's the best way to do it.
I will agree with you. They were missing parts of the game. I agree with you. We have peace.
We've got a couple of super chats I just want to quickly go through. Leon L, big up to you. He said, "Where's Sava the dry lunch?" Mate, listen, do you know what? If I should have read that, I should have seen that first. Mate, if you've got an issue with Sava, he also does a call-in show. Go on his show and debate him. But again, Leon, you guys just hide. You understand? And you just... What? Do you know what's interesting about this? You're the same fans that will go on social media and say, the abuse against Brennan Johnson is disgusting, yet you abuse us. You understand the problem here, right? Pot calling kettle black. Ethan Bates, big up to you. He says, you can't say Son doesn't suit the position he's playing and then criticize his adaptability and should be adapting to our best finisher. Right. This is an interesting talking point, okay? And you know what? This is a good point you've raised, Ethan. Do you remember I said to you guys, I don't think Son and Solanke works because Son for me is our best finisher and Son now, the way he is as a player is best suited as our number 9. Although he's limited, I think he's far better as the 9 than out on the left. Problem is, if you do that, Solanke's out the game because Solanke can't play anywhere but the 9. So if you play Son as the 9, you'd like to think there's going to be more goals. But if you play him as the left, he's not really as good. But if you play him as the 9, Solanke's now redundant. What do we do? And the only solution is to go 2 up top. That could work. But he's not going to do it. And he's not going to change the way we play. So should Ange change to suit our best finisher? Or is it a case, no, we've got to persevere with Son left, Solanke up top? Because, guys, Solanke today, the reason he scored is because it deflected into his pathway and he was there and he tapped in and it was a goal. But I didn't see him on the end of any one-on-ones. I didn't see him meeting any of these crosses that got put in the box. I didn't see him taking on a player, creating a half chance and shooting like Kane did. What do we do with this one? Should we adapt to Son? One player?
Oh, well, Ange isn't adapting to no one, so why is he going to adapt to Son, basically? But it's like I've said again with Ange on why I don't think he's going to last. Because you can only play with the cards you got. And I think we've all agreed, and a lot of people on the side have agreed, that a different formation would suit this team a lot better. But you can't just adapt everything for one player. Not unless he is your superstar. And Son is not a superstar anymore. He's lost stamina. He's lost a bit of pace. He's coming on 33. It's age. It happens. And this is where it proves he was not world class, because even though this has happened to Salah, where he's lost a bit of pace and a bit of stamina, Salah's still playing like a world class player. Son isn't. There's the difference between world class and a very good player.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that Son isn't world class. I think it's hard to argue.
World class finisher, yes. but never a world-class player. He was never in the same level as Salah. Never in a million miles.
Yeah, Salah's easily the next level up.
World-class is too easily used these days because there is a lack of world-class out there. If you want to go and look at half the players that get called world-class these days, they wouldn't even kiss the boots of some of the players of 95, 2000. But that's a different story.
Well, talking about Sonny again, it was clear at 2-1 if Brentford scored, they'd grab the equaliser and it would be a point each. Or could Spurs get that third goal and finish the game? And we did. I believe it was Romero that played through some, wasn't it, for the winning goal before Sunday? So Romero with a fantastic through ball, something that our midfielders can't seem to do. Clinical killer pass, split the lines. And then Sonny did what he's supposed to do in that position. Passed it to Maddison, one-on-one with the keeper, and Maddison with the most delicious of dinks over the keeper. By the way, behind the south stand, it looked like he was going over the bar, and everyone's like, "No, he's missed it." And then when we hit the back of the net, we're like, "Oh, what a goal! What a goal!" And look, I say that again, Maury.
No, I said 4 things about that sequence. It was beautiful, and I've been very hard on Basuma. Great tackle to start that. He made a great tackle to start that. And then Romero, like I've told people before, and I get it. Sometimes he has that little lapse. But with Argentina, with Atalanta, and even last season, there were times he moved into the midfield like a CDM and he was getting those pass throughs. He got 2 to Maddison in the Everton game, and Maddison didn't finish. Romero is one of the best progressive passers, center backs, defenders in all the world. This guy knows how to get the pass. They teach him that in Argentina. He does that. So he does a beautiful pass through to Sonny, and then Sonny, beautiful assist to Maddison. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. But that's not shocking. Romero has always done that. He tried to do that last season, and our guys couldn't finish their dinner. They couldn't, we weren't clinical. But that shouldn't surprise anybody because Romero has always had his 2 belts. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I thought that Maddison today, that was probably one of his. In fact, I thought that was his best game of the season.
That was his best. No, I think that's the best he's played for us, full stop. I don't think he's played a better game for us. I think that was his best game he's played for us.
Arsenal away last season, he was good in that game. I remember Arsenal away.
But this one, he was good for 90 minutes.
Would you
from
say
beginning
that?
to the end?
Yeah. Madison was very good today.
He only played for 65 minutes, but would you say I felt that this was also Bentancur's best game I've seen since coming back from injury? Would you say? Yeah. Would you say that?
But he was being played in more of the. I know it was still a box to box, but he was playing more of the box to box defensive sort of style, like what Basuma came on to do. And like I've been telling everyone, he's the closest thing to a DM we've actually got. And I thought that's one of the best games I've seen him play in a very long time. Probably since his injury. You're right.
That was his best game. This was Bentancur's best game I've seen since his injury. And he can't play the full 90 minutes, so it was good timing. I'll give Ange credit. It was perfect timing to get him off and put Basuma in because he played a good game, and then Basuma made that great tackle. So Basuma, to be fair, because people say I hate on Basuma too much, I thought he had a good 20 minutes or so.
A few fans towards the end of the game raised a few eyebrows, although there was a standing ovation. Mikey Moore, Archie Gray, and Bergvall came on. Now, it's the kids. People want to see kids play because it's something that fans feel you can build on, and it's an exciting thing. Mikey Moore got a rendition of "He's one of our own, he's one of our own." Mikey Moore, he's one of our own. For me, I'm not going to lie to you, it pissed me off. I'll tell you why. What is the point of bringing them on in the 88th minute? Like, I get it. You can't bring them on at 2-1. The game's It's in the balance. You want your experienced players on the pitch. And that was the right decision that Ange made because we won the game because he didn't bring them on. But bringing them on for 5 minutes, other than them being made to feel like they're, they mean something to the fans, what did they get out of it?
Well, I'm going to show you the message. Right, this is the message I posted live during the game. And I said, the game is already over. Moore will get 4 to 5 minutes all season in EPL games if we're up. I said this. And then my next message was $40 million Gray to get 5-6 minutes in EPL games. Great summer transfer window. Basically saying what you're saying. Like, other than, I'm talking about EPL. I'm not talking about the Carabao Cup. These guys, unless we're up 3-1, 4-0, 2-0, 3-0, they're going to come in the 80th minute or 85th minute when the game's already over. And it's like, for me, it's like nothing. Like, especially for Moore. Like, 5 to 6, 7 minutes, every other EPL game, if we're winning, I don't think it's anything.
What about yourself, Dan? Kids coming on for 5 minutes. Was it just kind of, go have a run out, let the fans give you a cheer? Or did he actually think they were going to get something out of it? Because they came on and nothing really happened. But I didn't expect them to do anything because they only had 5 minutes.
I think Mikey Moore had one run with the ball, if I remember right. And so did Gray. What was the point for about 3 minutes left of the match and then some injury time? Really. But I can also see why he was scared to bring them on, because it wasn't until very close to the end of the game that we finished it off, basically, where we should have finished that off a lot earlier. And this is where, to me, again, it shows that he's scared to play them kids, because if he was so confident of, we go to this point of Archie Gray again, where we needed that defensive box-to-box sort of player, I thought that's what Archie Gray was going to be. So why did he bring on Archie Gray instead of Basuma when Basuma's just coming out of an injury, when we needed that bit more defence off a box-to-box, where we took off Benton Court? Where was Archie Gray then? So he can't be that confident of them.
I just thought I'm torn on it. I'm actually torn on this one. I get why he did it. I just don't see the point in it though. But I understand why. Do you know what? It's almost like dangling a carrot as well. It's almost like you're teasing them. Go on, there's some food. Go on. We've got to take the food away now because the game's over. No more food. I just feel, he played him in the Carabao Cup, but he murdered him because he made so many changes that he crucified them. If we made 3 or 4 changes and Bergvall and Gray were part of those changes, you say, good, you've got a strong team. 3 or 4 changes, okay. But you made 8 changes in the Carabao Cup, threw everyone under a bus, got away with murder in that game. I just feel that we're better off just not playing them and just play them on Thursday night instead in the Carabao Cup, give them a full game, but don't make. In fact, we've got Carrier Bag on Thursday. What would you do in this game, guys? Because if we make lots and lots of changes and we have another Coventry, it's going to be a pretty bruising night because Carabao aren't a bad side, by the way. They're not a bad team. They're nearly beat by Leverkusen last season in the Europa Cup. But at the same time, if we go full strength, we've got Man United 3 days later. Man United, they're not rubbish, and at their ground, it's going to be hard. But we can beat United. They're not great. So what do you do? Do you rest everyone, but then risk another Coventry meltdown style game, or do you play a strong team, but then they might be a bit tired for the Man United game away, which is going to be a tough game for us on Sunday? Like, how do you go into this one?
I still, to be honest, I play a strong team. because I was doing. I mean, I was looking back at Karabakh, and we struggle against Coventry. Karabakh is miles better than Coventry. We have our starters. Well, it was just the first Europa League game. Wait. We need to qualify. I'm sorry. We need to qualify. We need to play our starters. I'm sorry. If they have to play against United, well, you know what? It is what it is. That's on Levy and the board not getting more quality, get more players. Because we cannot have that starting lineup against Carabao. If we lose to Carabao, that's not good, right? If we want to win the Europa League, right? That was the objective, right? If we want to win it, we have to at least win these games. So at least the last couple of games, okay, we could, have an ease. But where we don't take this game seriously, and then the last couple of Europa League games, those are must-win games, then that even compounds our schedule even more. So yeah, we're playing United, and United has been meh, but we have to play our strong team. Both games back to back. It is what it is.
But can we actually do that?
Quite a few people in what do you mean by that, Dan?
Can we actually even do that? Have we even got a squad to do that?
Well, we can't play Spence because he's not in the Europa Cup squad, so Spence can't play, which is now going to prove to be a stupid decision, which is what we said when it happened. So I mean, realistically, look, let's go through the team. Like, what changes can we make? Okay, you can drop Vicario because he's already because there's a player to drop him for. You can go with Dragusin instead of Romero Van der Ven, but would you play him next to Ben Davies? Again, problematic, isn't it?
It is.
You can't do that.
But
so
we haven't got a squad.
Well, let's figure it out. We can change the goalie. We can change one centre back. Right.
Well, we've got a choice of 4 goalkeepers, haven't we?
I mean, play the goalies as a back 4. We can drop. Did Reguilon make the Europa Cup squad?
Reguilon?
I don't think he did. I don't think him and Spence did.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So you can't really drop a Dogi unless you play Ben Davies at left back, but then that's suicide. On the right side, you could say, yep, play Archie Gray, who apparently is a number 6, but we're going to play him at right back. Then you look at the midfield. I'm sure Bergvall could start in the midfield alongside Basuma and maybe Kulu, for example. So there's one change there. Then across the front 3, I don't think we can make any changes because Odebert's injured. Well, Werner, but fuck me, Werner. Jesus Christ, man.
Oh, don't even
like
go
that
there.
guy, he can't play for us. He's awful. He's so bad.
Just go get someone out the under-12s in there or something. They'll do a better job.
So, realistically, we can only make 3 or 4 changes if we think about it without throwing the game away.
And then hope we don't get an injury or 2 for the Man United game.
Yeah.
I mean,
because you got to look at it in this next few weeks, and then coming up to Christmas and that, the games are going to start coming down hard, and this is where you're going to see how lucky or how weak this team this squad actually is. Because if we don't come out of this with injuries, then we've had a very lucky season or the very lucky part of the season for a change, whereas we're usually quite unlucky in that aspect.
Do you know what?
If it starts coming down on us,
let me have a look at the games we've got coming up. Right, hold on. Table. Let's go to Spurs. Okay, matches coming up. So we've got carrier bag. Right. So you see, look, we have to rest players, Mari. Like I know you're saying go strong, but look, if we go strong against Karabag, then 3 days later we've got United. And then 4 days later, we've got another European Cup game. And then 3 days after
3 days later, we've got Brighton. And then we've got a gap.
Yeah. So really, well, look, either you go strong 1, 2, 3, 4 games in a row. So basically, we're going to have so in the space of a week and a half, we're going to have 4 games. So either you go strong in all 4, and then you've got the international break to have a rest, and hope that by playing the strongest team in each one, we don't have injuries and we get through it, or you've got to rotate for those European Cup games, because we've got two of the hardest Premier League games we've got all season. Brighton and Man United away. Last year we drew at Man United, and Brighton, they destroyed us. So
the thing is,
this is some tough decisions coming up for Ange, and we've already got injuries. Richarlison, no Odebert.
We put our
Europa Cup team in the squad.
We should be able to play those 2 Europa games with basically a team B. But we just proved against Coventry that our team B wasn't even good enough to beat a championship side. But we should
guys,
be able to.
I'm telling you, Karabag are no joke.
They're
not elite. They're not quality, but they're
No,
not
I
one
know.
of those
But
Mickey
we
Mouse
should.
teams like Pacos.
I don't agree. I don't agree, Dan. I watched us today, and I still think I don't like that. Like I said, the front three don't impress me at all. And I think if we miss chances, they'll take advantage of that, and that midfield can be got at. And I don't think the European managers are as silly as stupid as what people think. You know what I mean? I think they're very clever.
No, I think you've totally missed what I'm saying. I think that you've taken the wrong side of it. I'm saying the size of our team, the size of our club, we should be able to do that with a plan B, basically with a team B, like Man City could, like Chelsea probably could, like Arsenal could even put their B team out. We can't. That's what I'm saying. We can't.
I agree with you there.
We
I
should
see
be
what you're
able
saying.
to.
Yeah, you should be. Yeah, I get what your point is. It's just, like, even though we won today and it was a good performance, I still feel the same way. I still feel the same way about the team. I still can't change. Nothing's changed after today's game. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because and it's even more worrying because if you're going to rotate, you're going to put the youngsters in, and he doesn't trust the youngsters. Clearly, he does not trust the youngsters because they only came on because we were 3-1 up. That's it.
What I find funny is, I mean, some in the comments like this, big yeah, you say they shit, and then they beat us, or they give us a difficult game.
Karabag were literally 2 minutes away from knocking out Bayer Leverkusen last season. Like they're not shit, man.
And these
teams like Gwent beat us, for God's sake.
And then look at
experience in Europe.
And then look at Tottenham that, we could take this giant down. Funny I said it, they call us a giant. They're gonna play their best. And so I don't think we can afford in any competition. First of all, I don't think we can afford to look at any team and say, oh, they're beneath us, we'll easily win, especially with our supposedly B team. This goes back to, I don't hate to talk about Levy and the board, but it goes back to how they formed this team. We are a stronger team than last season's team. If I knew that we weren't going to get a replacement for Højbjerg, and mind you, I don't like Højbjerg, I would have said, no, can't let him go.
It's amazing how people now are saying the same thing I've said, by the way. Now start people hearing what I'm saying about Højbjerg. Yeah, because I didn't like Højbjerg. I think he's bang average, but I have to go back to apologise to Ellie because she was always right about him. Because like I said, we got rid of him, and to be honest, he becoming useful right now.
Mm-hmm.
Becoming useful.
He was one of the ones on the bottom of the list that we should have got rid of. He weren't up the top of the list for me.
Because we've got rid of him, and then we've got Archie Gray, who can't even get into the team.
Yeah, I mean, even he's Winks as a warm body, but at least he's an experienced warm body. If I knew we weren't going to replace him, then I would have been like, bring him back.
It just
you see, the thing is, when you look at the league table as well, we've really got to be careful with this because, look, as it stands, we're 10th. But positions at this stage of the season don't really make as much sense because of the points difference, right? So we're currently 5 points off the top. Although Man City have got a game in hand, and and so have Arsenal. But we're currently mid-table, right? We're behind Forest, who haven't played yet. Brighton haven't played yet. So we could be realistically what? Worst case, 6 points off of top four by tomorrow afternoon. But when you look at us so far, we drew with Leicester. We beat the worst Everton team we've seen in a long time. We beat Brentford, who I thought defensively weren't that good. We found it quite comfortable to get into them today. And then the real challenge is Arsenal, Newcastle. We lost both games. We just didn't have what it took in those games. Now we've got Man United, who are equal points with us. So this is almost what they call it a 6-pointer. We really want to be winning this game. And so do Man United. They're in the same boat as us. And then Brighton, well, they're a point ahead of us, but they've got a game in hand. If they win their game tomorrow, we go 4 points behind them. And if we don't beat Brighton, that's a 7-point gap. And suddenly, you're looking at your season, you're thinking, we're just a mid-table football club. So I think we really got to be careful with this midweek game so that we can be as fresh as possible. And Man United have got the advantage because they're the home team. Look, they play in Europe as well. Let's not forget it. They've got to think about things as well. But they're the home team. They're going to have the fans behind them. The last time we won at Old Trafford was under Mourinho when they went down to 10 men. But normally we don't really do that well up there. So Maury, do you honestly think we should go full strength or put out a pretty strong team against Karabakh?
You bring up a good case. I just feel that we play the B team. I would not be surprised Carabao beats us. Like that's how I feel. If we're not starting our 11, I feel we could be taken by a team when we play our B team. That's how bad it is, and that includes Carabao. Now you showed the board there. I'll say this early enough. 5 games, right? The Premier League is very inconsistent, except for Man City and Arsenal and Liverpool. Very inconsistent. You could say about all those teams, and so you're right in the sense that with the result of United, we're going to stay and hover around there because the Premier League is bad. The only team out of that group that's improving is Chelsea. I hate to say it. I hate Chelsea, but Maresca is doing something with that club. They're taking the bumps, but they're doing something, and I think it's something that they're going to progress. They will be better than last season, Chelsea. So now, you want to get a result against United so we can stay around there with a bunch of the other inconsistent teams. It's like I said, the only 3 teams that are consistently well is City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. Everybody else, it's like...
Maury, what would you boys prefer, right? Put out a strong team against Karabakh and beat them, but then potentially lose at United because a bit of fatigue, because we played too many first teamers, or put out the B team, which, like Mari says, it's we know what they're like. Hope they win, maybe an embarrassing loss or a draw, but then we go to Man United and we get 3 points. What is your priority here? Because this is what happens to every manager at Spurs. They get to a point in the season where they've got to prioritize Cup, Europe, Premier League. Which one are you going to prioritize? Because the squad is never good enough. We saw against Coventry away, the squad is nowhere near good enough. That's all the evidence you need. That shows how bad the quality in the squad is, which is something we keep banging on about. Every manager at Spurs comes to that point where they've got to say, right, do I take the league game seriously, or do I take the European game seriously, or do I take the Cup seriously? Pochettino, remember what he did? He took Europe seriously, got us to a Champions League final, but we lost. We couldn't win in 13 away games, something stupid, a horrendous league record. So that got compromised. Then you look at Mourinho, dropping down the table, but he got us to a cup final, right? What do we prioritize? The Premier League game on Sunday or the Europa Cup game on Thursday? Because I know Andrew's going to be thinking that. Because he knows
if we want to win something, then it's got to go for one of the cups or the Europa Cup. But if we're going to think logically how Spurs think, and when I mean by Spurs, I go back to Levy. Levy don't give a monkeys about these cups. Levy wants that 4th place. And if Angie's sitting in 10th place, 9th place when it comes to Christmas, if he gets that far, he's going to be gone. Levy don't want cups. We want cups. Levy don't. He wants 4th place. He wants that 40 million straight away at the end of the season for getting in the Champions League.
I don't think you can prioritise right now. I think you just got to just go for it and then see what happens, mate. Because at the moment, I just think at the moment we put ourselves in this situation. So, I mean, if we want to prioritise, well, you're going to have problems, in my opinion. Because, like I said, I don't think we've got a good enough squad, even if we did prioritise. You know what I mean? So, you know, and also the fact as well, the way that we play our game, we're using up a lot of energy anyway because we have to press a lot, don't we? So we're going to end up really running down these players, and that's it for me. You know,
burning the candle at both ends, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're always going to be energetic. We're always going to use up a lot of energy because we press a lot, don't we? So I just don't think you can really prioritize at the moment. Tottenham just need to take every game as it comes, really, and that's it. They knew the situation when we came into the season. We need to improve that squad. You know what I mean?
I personally would go all out for the Carabao Cup. Sorry, for the Europa Cup. I couldn't care less about the league title. Anyone who thinks we're beating Arsenal or Man City to a league title needs their brain examined. They need blood testing, MRI scans, CT CAT scans, probably some kind of horse tranquilizer to sedate them. There is no way in a million years we are winning the Premier League this season. It's not just insane, right? It's not human to think like that. It's not normal to think that. We're not winning the Premier League. It's a joke.
Yeah, but we're not going to win the Europa League, though. We're not going to win Europa League, though, are we?
Alex, but my point is, I know we're not going to win the Premier League in a million years. However, there's a better chance, and it's a long chance, but there's a better chance we could win the European Cup. Why? Because the Champions League teams don't drop into it this year. There's only 2 teams I'm worried about in the Europa Cup. One's Man United, because they got our number. And the other one is
Roma.
No. Freaking hell.
The Spanish team.
Is it Sociedad?
Sociedad.
I think it's Sociedad.
I'll be more bothered about Roma.
Well, Roma got a manager because they mostly got fired. So we'll see how they play. But I mean, they got the players. But
yeah, that's Real Sociedad, right? Real Sociedad.
Yeah.
Listen, I might
take us to lunch easily.
Murray, I might put Eintracht Frankfurt and Porto in there only because they've got pedigree in Europe. Okay.
So Porto, they're
the 4 teams, but the 2 teams that I'm actually scared of are Man United and Real Sociedad, because Man United just have our number in cup competitions, and Sociedad are actually a team that play football. So
that's right.
I think every team has got a problem with those still.
Alex, you're right. We'll make a dog's dinner out of Pacos Ferreira again.
Because I don't believe in the team, because the way that we are playing at the moment, that is Europe. That for a European team, a manager is looking at that and thinking, that's what they're thinking. That's what they're thinking.
Yeah, but you'd like to think, though, our starting 11, our best starting 11.
No, I'm sorry. I don't even. The only thing I think we've got on them is our defence, because our defenders can actually score. And our strikers are absolutely useless. I'm sticking by what I say.
Right, okay, Alex. Let me ask you this. Who do you fancy our team against more? Up against Lazio, Real Sociedad, Roma, Porto, or up against Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, or up against PSG, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich? Out of those 3 groups, which one sounds the best chance for you?
Do I have to answer it? Because I said none of them. I just don't know what.
If I said pick one group you would rather go up against, who would you rather go up against? Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, PSG, or Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, or Porto, Roma, Real Sociedad. If you had to pick one group to go up against, who would you rather go up against?
By default, because this is default, because I don't think we've got any
By
chance against
default,
them.
by default,
By
yeah.
default, the Porto, you know, European
Right.
teams.
So therefore, that's the Europa Cup. That's so therefore by default we should go for that more than anything else. If Ange is serious by what he said, which was I always win trophies in my second season, then you got to go for the Europa.
Don't forget Bill
Bell. Champions League as well, and Levy be a happy person. We'll be a happy person.
Bill Bowles,
a European trophy, a trophy, and back in the Champions League. It ticks all the boxes, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't forget, there's more teams. Bilbao's a good team. They beat Real Madrid, to win the Copa del Rey. They got Nico Williams.
Yeah, but Murray, I also ignored teams like Inter Milan in the Champions League. I ignored teams like Barcelona in the Champions League. There's a lot of good teams in the Champions League as well, right? So, yeah, there are other good Europa Cup teams, but look, you could say the Carabao Cup is the easiest, really. But the problem is, as soon as we get drawn against Man City or Chelsea, it's good night. We know how that story ends. Right?
Man City always like to win that. Man City always like to go for that.
Imagine we get Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. There's only one winner. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
Not unless they have 4 players sent off.
Yeah, if they have 4 players sent off, Dan, we could get a last minute winner.
Exactly. It just ain't happening, and we're sort of fucked if we don't, fucked if we don't, basically. But it's like I said at the start of the season, and that I do think the Europa makes the most sense out of everything because we could get everything out of it. But is Levy even going to let him get that far to focus on the Europa if he's just totally out of the race for 4th place by December, January?
Well, he might get sacked if he's out of the race.
That's Frank, what I'm saying. Is he even going to let him get that far?
See, the next few games are interesting because...
Do you get what I'm saying now?
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, of course. We don't even know who the manager's going to be come Christmas.
Because just because of today, I don't think much has changed. I just think it's bought him a little bit of time with the fans.
Frank J, to answer your question, do I really support Spurs? I run a Spurs YouTube channel with other Spurs YouTubers. I have a Spurs season ticket. I go to the home games. I go to some of the away games for Spurs. And I've been following the club since I was 8. So do I really support Spurs? No, it's all made up. It's all fake. It's all an illusion. All right. If we don't win the next 2 games in the league and suddenly we find ourselves... In fact, let me get the league table up again. All right. If we don't win the next 2 games and let's just say from West Ham up, they win 1 game. All right, and we end up 15th, 16th after 7 games. Right. So after 7 games, if we end up 15th or 16th and we are roughly... Let's have a look at this. So that would be 16, 13. And we are 10 points off of 4th place. Do you think that Ange is toast?
If he's toast, don't ever tell me to back a manager ever. That's all I'm going to say.
That's not the question I asked, Alex.
Yeah, no. But if he is toast, that's what I'm saying. If he is toast...
No, but do you think he'll be toast? Before. Do you think he'll be toast?
No, well, if he, I don't think he should be. No, he shouldn't be, because if they believed in him, if we got our Tottenham back, right, and this is a guy that never backed him since June 2023. Right, I understand why people are saying what they're saying, but if they sack him, I've proven my point, right? Because I didn't back this guy I didn't back him at all. The rubbish I was hearing on Thursday's show was absolute rubbish, and what is his name? Whatever the people saying that didn't defend me because they knew exactly what I said in June, and I stuck by what I said, even though people had a go at me and cut my stream and everything else. But if they sack him, don't ever anyone tell me to back a manager. because it's going to be on them to prove it to me. Like I'm waiting now because I'm not having it. Yeah, because it just shows to me after 23 managers I've seen through this club, they can't do it. They can't stick to a plan. I'm sorry. Do not tell me. Do not tell me.
Okay,
The
but
abuse
my
I get,
question,
which I love, by the way, because I eat it up and I just throw it back in your face and say, I don't know. If you don't know, get to know, yeah? But I'm sorry, do not tell me to back a manager. Do not tell me, yeah? I don't care
but
whether
Alex,
it's... And that's
the
it. Do not
question
tell
is,
me.
I know you're unleashing, but there's no need because my question is, do you think, not
No,
what
I
you
don't
want?
think they will. I don't think they will know. But if they do it still, do not tell me to back a manager. Do not tell me to back this manager. I don't want to hear this rubbish because some of the stuff I've heard about Ange, oh please to back Ange, oh please do this, oh please do that. It's just so cringy. It's cringe. And I've heard some of the stuff now. And to answer your question, still out of respect, they've got to back him. They've got to stick with him because if they don't, it's like you might as well. We might as well just. Do not tell me to back a manager. Do not tell me.
Yeah, honestly.
Alex, do you want Ange to win?
Yeah,
Spurs
I do want
to
Ange
win.
to win. Yeah.
So you back him then?
Well, no. But I want him to win for Tottenham. Yes, but at the moment, I don't like the manager. No, I've never liked the manager.
But you're still backing him because you want him to win.
Well, yeah. Obviously, I wanted to prove me wrong.
Alex wants Tottenham to win. He wants Tottenham to win, right?
He wants Tottenham.
No, I know exactly what he's saying. I know exactly what he's saying. I'm just reeling him in. That's all.
Yeah,
because I agree with what you're saying.
I know. I'm just trying to save him. I can see what you're doing.
Don't say Dan. Me and Dan are cool. It's cool, man. It's cool. I love Dan. But the point is,
when it comes down to it, everyone's got their own opinion of everything. Yeah, like some people think calling a player shit is abuse. Some people think calling a player shit is normal. Some people think backing a manager is being 100% like behind him through thick and thin and agreeing with everything he does. Same as a player, to back that player, you got to agree with everything he does, even when he goes totally tits up. For me, backing a manager and backing a player and backing your club is wanting them to win. I haven't got to agree with nothing. I haven't got to respect anything. I haven't got to agree with nothing that they do or respect anything they do. As all I got to do to back them is want them to win, is the way I see it. Do I agree with the way Ange plays? His system and that? No, I don't. Do I think Timo Werner's going to score 20 goals? No, I don't. Do I want him to? Of course I do.
Do you think, Dan, can I talk to you about his system today? People were saying that he didn't invert both fullbacks, right?
Yes, he did.
Well, I want to ask you this. During the game, I was trying to watch Udogie because I'm a bit unsure about him. And I noticed that he was going up and then inwards as normal. I don't know where fans are getting this from, that they both didn't invert. Maybe not as much at the same time, maybe. But I didn't see these overlapping runs from Udogie and Porro, which would have been the opposite to the inverting.
Several times I saw Udogie and Porro basically sitting on the edge of the box by the semicircle. Basically, they was both in there plenty of times. Maybe not Udogie quite as much as he usually does, but definitely a high majority of the time they were still playing inverted wing backs. I mean, that's how Porro got caught out, wasn't it? With a thrower.
I'm going to respond to Austin Matt, and I'm going to use the perfect
example. Aussie Matt, he's an angisexual. He's everywhere doing this. He's just.
And if he's on the chat, I want him to answer this question.
He's like, "Oh, Ange, it's so great, Ange." Oh,
because I asked someone on Twitter, right? All right, on X, right? In the sense of today, right? All is good, right? Because we won today, and I'm happy that we won, right? And so they were like, "Yeah, you've been critical. And I'm like, "Okay, then. So you want me to agree with you? All right, we'll win the league." And then that person said, "Oh no, we're not going to win the league and stuff like that. You know, we'll do top 4." I said, No. You're being negative. You're being negative, right? You want to wish for the best for your team, right? So we're going to win the league. And the guy was like, No. Well, we can't. I said, wait. Why not? You're being negative. You are being negative, right? We are going to win the league. It's not Man City. We're going to win the league. No, you gotta be realistic. Wait. Now you tell me to be realistic. So honestly, Matt, I pose this question, right? We're not hoping for our team to lose, right? We're just giving you real critical analysis of where our team is. So Matt, pose you this question, right?
Sat there cheering the win. I was in the stadium cheering the win.
Yeah. So honestly, Matt, do you think we'll win the league? Do you think we'll win the league?
I can't take it. I can't take it.
Right? We're going to win the league.
I can't take it. I can't take it.
We'll come back at the end of the season, right? I'm telling you, man, these people are so like funny, hypocrites too.
It's a fair question what you said. I'm sorry. And by the way, Jordan, get back in your bots in the chat, bruv. I wasn't overreacting. It's just having a personality. Maybe try it sometime, bruv. You know, that's what Mr. Box Office is all about, having personality, bruv. If you don't know, get to know. You know what I mean? Anyway, moving on. He dug himself a hole. He goes at Mr. Box Office. That's fuel for Mr. Box Office to go back at him. The point is, yeah, right? You know what I mean? It's like, for me, it's like I said, it's like, yeah. It's your fault putting the squad together, right? Now we're struggling. Now because we are dominating games. Today we dominated. Brentford didn't help themselves. I've got to say this in defence, yeah. But the thing is that Andrew's now got to make a decision right now. He's got the players he's got to work with right now, right? He's got the time frames of now playing 2 games a week. So now he's got to use his time well to improve the players that he's got. Now, one thing think he needs to do is get that Nick Montgomery off bloody set pieces and start using him to try and improve some of the players we've got. Now, whether we rate them or not, he's got the players he's got right now, so he's got to use them to try and improve and develop them, yeah, into men. You know what I mean? Because at the moment, it's like, Johnson scored, we're saying, oh, well done, Johnson. Well done, Johnson. It's like, no, Johnson, you need to start scoring another goal. You know what I mean? Yeah, use that momentum to score more goals, or use that momentum to improve your game. You get what I'm saying? To improve yourself.
Can I tell what Alex did today? Can I tell what Alex did today, right? So when Johnson scored, everyone was singing, there's only one. Was it? No. There's only one Adam Johnson, or they're singing
Brennan
Johnson.
Brennan Johnson, yeah.
Yeah, they're bigging him up and whatever. And Alex goes, I need to see that again. I need to see it more than once. No, you're not convincing me. He's proper shouting it. And the guy in front turns around and goes, yeah, you're right. He's got to do it more. Can't just do it one time. And the guy behind me was like, oh, God, they're moaning. I just sat there laughing. And then literally about 10 minutes later, Johnson, the ball gets played to him in on goal, and he smashes it wide. And all you hear is, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And Alex starts shouting. And the guy in front turns around here, and they're high-fiving and shit. And the guy behind me didn't want to say. He's like, yeah, you stay quiet. It's just funny, man. Football stadium are funny places.
Let's see if he does that. And I hope he does that against Chelsea, against City, against Liverpool, like he did that against Arsenal. No, he didn't do that against Arsenal.
Mate, he didn't shush me. I was sitting in the other stand. I was sitting in the south stand, not the north stand.
Can I just also say this as well, yeah? Okay.
Hope BJ, but hold on. I hope BJ scores 30 goals. Like I said, I hope he does that. I gotta see it to believe it. I really hope he is consistent. I really do. I hope
he's not going to be consistent though. It's not going to be consistent though.
I hope
he hasn't got the swag. He just hasn't got the arrogance, Mari. He hasn't got the arrogance or the swag. That's what we're missing because they were just too nice. Even when I think Bentancur had an okay game, but he's not consistent enough. Not consistent enough. Kulu winds me up. I'm sorry. He does his best.
Alex, they're all like this. It's like we say the same thing every show. Against Crystal Palace, against Brentford, against Nottingham Forest, against these teams, they will do what they need to do, right? They will do what they need to do. But when you play the Chelsea, when you play the Liverpool, the Newcastle, the Arsenal, the Villa, the Man United, the City, the Brighton, show me. Show me why you're going to win trophies. Show me why you're going to be called title contenders. And so far, we were dog shit against Arsenal in terms of creating anything for us to say, yeah, we really should have won that. We bottled under the pressure of a set piece from Arsenal. We just lost our ways. Against Newcastle, we couldn't score for toffee, and that stupid Ange tactic got found out, and they beat us. Now we've got another 2 games. This is exactly what happened.
Yeah, but still, no, mate. You're taking it too far. We only lost 2-1. We didn't lose 4-1.
I know why Dad said it. Easy, cheeky. I love that, Dad. That's a good one. I like that one.
But Dan, don't you remember when we beat Everton 4-0 and everyone was like, brilliant performance, look at the goals, we were special, and we came on and we said, guys, that's the worst Everton team I've ever seen come to White Hart Lane. You just can't celebrate a win. You just hate Tottenham. And then they all went missing. They all left the chat. They all disappeared into thin air once we played Newcastle and Arsenal. And then we played Brentford, who had a dog shit defence, a makeshift midfield from injuries. We put them to bed 3-1. They've all come out now. Johnson shushed you. Madison's amazing. That's the thing. Benton calls the real deal.
Oh, this is
what Ange can change his tactics.
Johnson, why?
I want to see where these fans are after Man United and Brighton. I want to see where they are.
Why do they have to do that, man? It's like it's the time. It's right on cue. It's just right on cue. I knew exactly what was going to happen when Johnson scored. It's like, oh yeah, look, he's proved you wrong. He's proved you wrong. I'm like, oh, Brentford was a top 10 team. They're a top 10 team. I'm like, why are you clutching at straws for? Why are you doing this for? Are you that so desperate to show something right now? Because we ain't won no trophies. Because this is what you're showing. Is that you ain't won no trophies, so you have to clutch at something else.
I want to ask this question.
How many players did they have missing?
Mate, they had was it Wissa? They had their new striker they signed. They had that young lad. Is it Omegard? What's his name? The Norwegian guy, Scandinavian winger.
Yeah, I think they had about 5 players missing, something like that.
He's missing. They had a kid in centre mid who got completely consumed. But look, I'm not going to use excuses as a reason as to why we lost. All I'm saying is, then they weren't this team that was brilliant. Yeah, they gave City a game last week. Fair play to them, but City won. Right? And the thing is, people, look, isn't Brentford a pushover team? Before today's game, right, I went and had a look at Brentford. I thought, let me see what we're up against. Because Brentford were 8th or 9th before today's game. In that top 10 group, do you know who had the second worst goals conceded? Like, out of the top 10? Brentford. They had the second weakest defense in the top 10 today before we played them. So I knew that defense could be got at. And we showed it. They don't have a good defense. So, but we're supposed to beat Brentford. We beat them last year. Do you remember? We beat them last year, guys. We're supposed to beat them. This wasn't supposed to be a tricky game, but it felt tricky because we were going into it in bad form. We beat them. Good. But this is what I want to see now. Can we go to Old Trafford, and I'm going to use the word swag, like Alex likes to say, and show some swagger at Old Trafford? Can we then go to Brighton, who battered us last year? They ripped us a new one, who don't play European football this season, so they've got a week to rest every week, and they look quite good. Can we go to Brighton and put one on them? If the answer is yes, and Brennan Johnson's a star, I will come on here after those 2 games and say, guys,
no, he's got to
call me out. Call me out. No, I say, come on here, call me out.
Yeah, but
call me
he's
out.
got to do the whole season. He's got to do the whole season.
No, but Alex, I'm prepared to do it just for the next 2 games because these are the games I'm talking about. These are the games I always
got to do the whole. No, we're not
Alex,
doing this.
Of course, he has to do the whole season. No, you're not doing it. I am, right? Yes, he's got to prove it over a whole season. But what I'm saying is, Everyone got gassed after we beat Everton, and then they went missing the next 2 games because we actually played some serious football teams. Now we've beaten Brentford, and Brentford are a small football club. Now we've got some, one of the biggest clubs in world football we're playing, and then a very informed Brighton team. Show me what you got, Ange. Show me what you got, Spurs players. Show me what you got, Johnson and Maddison and Solanke. Because if you don't show me, I'm sorry. I'm going to cook everyone and everything, and I'm going to get medium rare. And I'm not even going to give you
still, under Pochettino, right? We got to cup finals, right, and semi-finals, right, and we couldn't get over that line. Yeah, with Harry Kane, Son, Moira, Lamela, right, and Llorente, right. Now that, in my opinion, was a good strike force, even with Dele Alli. Yeah, for me at the moment, right, they did more in big games, those strikers, than what we're doing right now. So
they turned up in the games.
They turned up, yeah. So this is the point I'm making. I don't see, and we played at Wembley with these players as well. Pochettino had to contend with Wembley. So for me at the moment, that you've got to convince me a lot more than what we're doing at the moment. I'm sorry, these people that are jumping on the fact that he scored a goal just shows you that you don't know what your history is about our team of strikers. You don't know the history.
Jeff, don't lie. Don't lie. I predicted a 2-1 win. Please don't lie. I don't mind if you want to say things in the chat. I'll let everyone speak, but don't lie. That's the only thing I don't appreciate.
Yeah, Wayne, big up Wayne Holland.
I predicted a 2-1 win. I said we'd beat them.
Big up Wayne Holland, by the way.
It was 2-1. I predicted we'd beat Everton 3-0. Okay, we beat them 4-0.
I thought we were going to lose because I've had enough. I don't like our strike force.
We're not losing to Alex. Brentford at our ground, they never win.
Yeah.
I think
Wayne Holland, by the way. Trophies are not for everybody. Some people don't even like the FA Cup or Carabao Cup because they think it's beneath us.
Was it Brentford we lost to 3-2 a couple of seasons ago? Or was that Bournemouth?
I think it was Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, yeah. Yeah. I'm not worried about Brentford's. At their ground, I'm a bit worried because it's a bit more hostile. There, I might go for a draw, but at our ground, I wasn't worried about it at all. Man United away, I'm shitting it. I'm absolutely shitting it. And Brighton, I fear the worst.
Brighton are just awkward. They really are.
Dan, they play football. They play football.
They've done it for a couple of years. They're not. They're not. Even when they're playing poor, they can still pull something out. They're a fucking awkward team. And Man U, bar maybe once or twice in the past 25 years, really ain't a nice place for us to go. Same as Anfield, same as Chelsea. Basically, we do not have a good record there.
This guy. Do you know what? I think you're smoking something. You said the same thing before this game, and now you're saying you're not talking about the prediction. What are you talking about? That I wasn't sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure because I didn't know what players would be available. As soon as I saw Wissa was out, and once I saw that we had a good enough team to put on the pitch, yeah.
And we weren't starting Timo Werner.
See, him not playing at all is the best thing of the day. If there's one positive to take from today above everything else, is the fact Werner didn't come on the pitch. I was so happy he didn't play him. Do you know what? I'm glad he brought on Sarr ahead of him and Bergvall ahead of him and Gray ahead of him, and he brought on Mikey Moore ahead of him. I'm so glad Ange did that. Honestly,
why do we buy him in the first? Why do we keep it? Why do we get him on loan in the first place? And he's not a useful squad player, then, isn't he?
I said it.
It makes absolutely no sense. He's taking up a squad member right now as well.
Werner was on the bench, Matt. He was on the bench, so he was fit.
And wanted him. He obviously did. But Werner, he's not just shit, mate. He's fucking shit. He's awful. The fact that he's even in the Premier League is just criminal on its own. He's just poor in every aspect except he can run and he's got a bottle to take his man on. Apart from that, he's just shocking in every manner. He's a poor player.
Dan, he's fucking shit. He's a
That's what I
shit
said.
football player. Absolute gash. I can't believe he came to. Do you know his name? You say his name, it's like kryptonite. I just start exploding. I can't believe we brought this guy back to the club, man. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I'm watching Mbeumo really put in a good performance today for Brentford. He was the only player on Brentford's team I thought, this guy's serious. The rest of the Brentford players, I wasn't worried about at all. But Mbeumo, I thought, if this guy gets a chance on us, we're in trouble. Okay, he got one in the first minute. What a finish. And then he caused us all sorts of problems. That's the kind of player we should have signed. Him on one side. Put him in the front three. Fucking hell, I'd be so confident.
Or just put one of the under 21s there. You're going to get a better game out of them. Honestly, he's that bad. I mean, that game against Coventry was possibly one of the worst I've ever seen a player play, let alone the team. Just change subject.
I'll tell you what was very good today. Our stats for once. We didn't. This is interesting, right? So normally we dominate possession. We did in this game. Brentford managed to get more possession by the end of it. But this is the bit that counts. 23 shots, 10 on target, 3 clear-cut chances. We actually created real chances, guys. We even had less passes than Brentford. 9 corners. So for once, our attacking play paid off because we got the shots away, we created big chances, we created and won set pieces. This is what we've been saying all along. We've got to create chances. There's no point all this dominating football possession, attacking front foot. It's a nonsense unless you create clear-cut chances. And guess what? We create clear-cut chances and we score 3 goals. Oh, what a surprise. At Old Trafford, can we create clear-cut chances? Against Brighton, can we create clear-cut chances? This is what I need to see now. Because against Arsenal and Newcastle, we didn't. We didn't.
With Man U, I don't think they're our biggest problem. We haven't got a good record there, no. But the thing is with Man U, they're very similar to us. You just don't know who's going to turn up. You don't know what Man U's going to turn up. You don't know what Spurs is going to turn up. Yes, you know how we're going to play. But are we going to play it better or just fall to pieces with it? It's both teams are very. You just don't know who's going to turn up, basically, especially with Man U. And because at times they can look very good, and at other times they look shockingly poor. But they've still gone and won 2 trophies in 2 years, more than we've done in 25.
And the thing is, too,
and that's what and that's the bit Spurs fans can't get into their brains. Man U can be as shit as we want to laugh at them at. 2 trophies in 2 seasons, more than Spurs in a quarter of a century. That kills the show right there. That kills it.
And they still want to fight Ten Hag, even despite those trophies.
They want Ten Hag out.
Yeah. And the thing too, Dan, is that we're not good on the road. We how many home away wins have we had in the last what?
How many games you played this season, Maury?
No, but I'm talking about the last 15 home games. That's that.
Yeah, but this season we played 5. Okay, Leicester away we didn't win. Who else we played away?
Newcastle
we lost. Yeah. Everton was at home. Arsenal was at home. Brentford. Yeah. Okay. So the 2 away games this season we haven't won.
Yeah. And going back to last season, our form, we weren't winning it on away. We weren't winning on the road.
See, my concern is Old Trafford is one of those stadiums where if Man United get into any kind of momentum, their fans really get behind them, and it becomes a cauldron where pressure and heritage all begins to become part of the game. Whereas last season we went up there, they didn't get going, and we actually played quite well with a Højbjerg skip double pivot. We actually played well up there. And you know what? Their fans, we silenced their fans. We actually made them very nervous. So it's going to be such an interesting game, this, because we like to start quick. We like to come out the blocks, pretty on it. But United, they're a bit like us. If they score early, they tend to actually get into a game and do all right. But we're the same. If we score early, we tend to get into a game and do quite well. So I think if either team scores an early goal in this game and there's no response within 5-10 minutes, then I think it shifts the momentum in their favour quite a lot.
I think we actually play better if we go down a goal than if someone equalises with us or we score first. I actually think we play better when we go down a goal.
So we should score an own goal.
We seem to play better. I think we seem to play better when we go down 1-0 instead of someone equalising us for 1-1 or us going 1-0 up. I think we actually play better from behind, basically. We did it last season quite a lot as well.
Did we go behind against Leicester? No, we didn't. Did we go behind against Everton? No. Against Arsenal, we did. And against Arsenal, we got worse once we were 1-0 down. Our heads dropped.
Yeah, that one.
Newcastle.
But in general, I'd say we actually play better when we go 1-0 down. Like someone said, like I said, no, we did it under Conte a hell of a lot as well.
Did we go 1-0 down against Newcastle?
No,
we got better. We did. We actually got better in that game. We did because they scored first and then we got the equaliser.
That's right.
We actually got better. Yeah, maybe it wakes us up. Maybe it just makes us realize, oh shit, we're actually in a football game. There's actually something at stake here today, which is pretty bad. You shouldn't have to need that to kickstart you. You should be coming out of the tunnel fired up, ready to go into battle. Really.
It's Spurs, isn't it? It's just you don't know what one's going to turn up.
It's who we are, mate.
Like I said today with Brentford, for me, Brentford didn't want to defend. They wanted the ball forward more than anything. And when the team wants to play forward with us, that's how we like it. We don't like it when a team sits back and defends. That's why 8 out of 10 clubs do it with us, basically, because that is the way to beat us. But then you will have other teams that want to take it to us. And that's how we prefer to play against someone. With a you score 3, we score 4 attitude. Whereas the one that usually does us is sit back, take what you got, and catch us on a counter. I mean, the way Man City are playing against us, they ain't going to sit back and wait. They're just going to go at us and tear us a new one, basically. But we would prefer teams playing like that against us instead of sitting back because we ain't good at breaking down teams. And like you said today, there was a lot of players with Brentford missing. And for me, it didn't look like they wanted to sit back.
I just felt watching Brentford v Spurs today, the only player on that pitch that really worried me was Mbeumo. No other player on that pitch, I thought, yeah, that's a problem. That's a challenge. I felt like I was so calm the whole game. Other than the first minute where I started screaming and shouting, other than that first minute, the whole game I was chilled. I was so relaxed because I knew we'd get this game won. After we started attacking, after 5-10 minutes, you can see there's nothing to this Brentford team, actually. Not the team they put on.
I don't know, that second half, that second half, at one point, it did look like it could go Spursy. For about 10-15 minutes, it did start looking like it could go a bit Spursy. And then when Vicario started going all flappy handsky and everything, it started getting a bit anxious.
You're right. Dan, you're right. It did get a little bit uncomfortable at one point. But even then, I never feared it because I thought all you've got is Mbeumo. Like, that's literally all you've got. I didn't feel anything.
That's why that injury to that Whizzler player wasn't
Whizzler.
Whizzler. Yeah, well, I'll say if I can't pronounce it.
Just call him Whizzler. I think Whizzler's better anyway.
Yeah, sorry if that was wrong there, Wizzy. That didn't make that wasn't sound.
Nobody cares. You're all right.
But yeah, I think that didn't really help them. But I was very impressed with Mbeumo. I was impressed with Burma. I think he still was. He impressed me because I think he handled playing up front on his own very, very well. Something I don't think some of our strikers can do at the moment. You see, even though I thought Maddison's finish was really good, to be fair.
It was a good finish,
And
definitely.
I will give credit to Johnson. It was a good goal. It was a very good goal, but
It was an
again,
excellent goal, Alex. It was an excellent goal. Look, if you go back and watch
it
it,
was a very good
the
goal.
way
It
he
was a
beat
very
his
good
man,
goal.
that change of direction and pace, he made it look easy. He beat the man well, and the finish was on point. If that was Kane, Aguero, Salah, anyone like that, we'd be going, "Oh, what a goal!" It was a quality finish.
It's a quality goal. Oh,
Praise,
you
listen,
can't
I praise
why
him
not?
fairly.
Why
I
not?
praise him
Why
fairly.
not?
I don't criticize him fairly. It was a very good
Yeah,
goal.
no, yeah, but I the only criticism I have of Johnson, and this is to make him better, because this is what top players should be aspiring to be, is that you use that confidence to try and do something more in the game. You know what I mean? You know, you're just becoming a bit one-dimensional if you're just going to do one thing. You know what I mean? You need to do more. That's what top players do. You know what I mean? So, and the thing is, though, it's only going to benefit Wales because Wales need top players. They need top players to the nation at the moment to try and get them to another level, because they've
No, they
lost
just
Gareth
need good
Bell.
players. They just
They've
need
lost,
good players.
yeah, they've lost Gareth Bell. Ramsey's getting older now, and some of their stars have kind of moved on. So now it's really for one of them, there's one of the Welsh young players to get themselves out the pack and try and move Wales up there, to another level, to try and get them to like a World Cup or a European Championship. So we've only been tough because if he wants to be that one of those top players like a Gareth Bell, he's got to improve his game. He's got to do more. He's
It's
got to be more
it's
consistent,
not
and that's it. And, and I'm
it's
sorry,
not
you
gonna
can't
happen.
lie at that. But if he doesn't do that, he's he will struggle. And it's a hard world out there. And then I just hear some of the people that, and I mean, sometimes, and it's like, well, you can't compare it to us. It's not well, no, because when you're, and again, this is a mixed game, women's game and a man's game, but you've got to be men about it. You've got to be man about it. You know what I mean? You've got to, like I said, Saba says it perfectly. Aston Villa got men in their team. We got little boys. We've got little
Well,
boys in our team.
we still got the win today. He done all right today. Let's hope he can improve. That's all I can say to that at the end
But
of it.
I've said that already. I'm saying at the moment,
Mm.
you're not off the hook still.
Oh no, of
You know
course
what I
he's
mean?
not. It's going to
He's
take
not
a
off the
while
hook
yet.
still. So yeah, great. You scored your goal. It was a good goal. Blue Peter badge. Here you go, blue Peter badge. Now do more. Simple. And the other players as well. Bentancur needs to be more consistent. The reason why he's lucky, he's a very lucky boy, a very lucky man that we ain't got a midfielder to compete with him. We have very lucky man. Yeah. Poro needs to be more up the field. By the way, I said this on Mr. Box Office TV. By the way, I'd like to see your feedback on that one. By the way, that video. But anyway, moving on. So it's like he should be more up the field. I think we need to have two up front, because I think, and Johnson should be more a forward player as a striker, because I think he can use that place and try and get in behind teams with him, try and do a Jamie Vardy sort of thing. That's what I think he should focus on. I would use more the youngsters at the moment, if to try and get a combination with Maddison or something like that. I think the only question mark at the moment is who you play left midfield now. That's what I would say. The wings now, the flanks and
He's going
and
to keep playing
the
Son,
left flank.
Alex.
Huh?
He's going to keep playing Son, isn't he? He's going to
Well,
keep playing Son.
I don't think it's really big up Jordan, by the way. It's all fun and games, Jordan. Don't worry. But the point is that I don't think you can carry on with Son doing that, because I don't think it's helping him at all. You know what I mean? Down those wings, you need someone who's dribblers. You need dribblers by that, but we ain't got really any dribblers than Alderbert, and he's injured. So that's my opinion on this at the moment. I still think we're struggling this season.
Listen, we said we're going to give it 10 games and done 5. After 5 games, we've won 2, lost 2, drawn 1. We're 10th. If this is still the situation after 10 games, no one's going to convince me of much. I do want to show you guys one thing. So as I was coming out of the stadium, we're just outside chatting with some people. And I looked behind me and I noticed there was something missing and I realized what's happened. So this is ground zero, aka this is the site for the hotel being built. So that boarded off section behind there, that's where the hotel's going to go. Anyone interested in our luxury hotel being built as part of the Hotspur experience? There you go, guys. That's what it currently looks like. That's the current building site for all of you fans that are really into these kinds of things and we're going places, right? But listen, boys, girls, thank you for watching. Thanks for joining. Mari, Dan, Box Office. Dan, when are you next live, bro? When's the next show?
In the next day or two, some stage next week. Got one planned up, but depends if people want to turn up for it.
So Dan's got a good debate that he's trying to set up regarding what was the topic regarding?
Basically, is what's the phrase? I forgot the bloody word now. Is criticising someone, abusing someone.
Yeah, it's actually a good subject. It's been a big talking point, especially with Brennan Johnson. Hopefully Dan gets that debate going next week. If he does, make sure you go and check out the Hotspur Hood. Dan's channel growing every single day. Alex, Box Office, your channel's growing as well, man. Good for you too. About time. Spoiler alert. When are you next? When are you next
Well,
live?
I just released another video about my feelings on the game. You might have got a little bit of taste of it just today on the stream today. And yeah, like I say, just watch this space because, like I say, I was gonna be. It's going to be a week of spoilers, and yeah, it's going to be more week of spoilers this week as well. So just keep your eyes peeled on Mr. Box Office TV, and yeah, that's all I'll give you, and that's it. So keep liking and subscribing to Mr. Box Office TV, and I'm out. Back to you, Still.
Back to me. Well, Murray's on Tottenham Way, so you know when Murray's next live. It's Monday. Monday we're live. We've got a Monday night show. Murray, myself, Iggy, JP, maybe Will, Maz, Lee. No, Lee's away. He's on holiday, so Maz.
I think we'll show this Wednesday. I think we'll have his. I want to say we'll have a show this Wednesday. It's because of the scheduling. Because, for example, Thursday we have a game, so there will be no North London's hours because we have the post game on the Europa League.
I don't know if there's a post game because I think I'm going to the game, Murray, unless someone else wants to do it.
Okay,
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
It'll be a post game. I mean,
but
watch.
Yeah. God, sorry.
Yeah, we'll do a post game. You could jump on live from the stadium. You know, we'll do a post game. Just
we'll sort it out.
Yeah,
I do want to say to everyone right in the chat. Okay, I know it gets a bit tetchy at times because the internet is psychotic and toxic, and we're all mad. But let's not make it all super personal between us and dig each other out. And then I've got to punch back, and I always punch back, right? Ask Alex. I got into an argument with someone in the queue today at Spurs, but the what I've tried to do is give everyone who comes in the comments who just wants to throw shots to come on a show, and here it is. Talk to Tottenham Away, your chance to speak this Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Just come on the channel. The link will be in the comments. Come on, and you can debate, call out, talk, agree, disagree, fire your shots 1-to-1. If you don't come on then, it's very hard for us to respect you in the comments when you want to do it there, hiding. So there's a chance. Come and speak. Maybe you like it and you want to become a regular. Who knows? I think Dan always says on his shows, puts the link during live shows and says, come on then, let's hear it. Sava does it too. We all do it. It's up to you if you want to come on and have your say. But look, big up to Dan, big up to Alex, big up to Mari, big up to everyone in the chat. Thank you to the super chats from Leon and Ethan. Big up to both of you. And again, just want to say a big thank you to Robbie. Good to see you. Alex, Matt, Stephen and Dan, and the guy in the white Spurs kit that was coming down the stairs. I forgot your name. I'm sorry. Big up to you guys as well. We're out of here. Check out Dan's show. Check out Alex's video he released today, and we'll be back on Monday. Other than that, big up. Come on, you Spurs. Big week coming up. Some big games. Let's see what happens. We're out of here.
Come on, you Spurs.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.